Subscribe for daily boxing videos, guys. The day's here. Well, it's not here yet, but in about 2 days, we're going to have the showdown between WBC heavyweight champion of the world, the Bomber, Wilder, Deontay Wilder, to be exact, versus the Cuban, the undefeated Cuban, the Southpaw, Luis King Kong Ortiz. Now, the fight, it's basically fight week. Luis Ortiz looks in really good shape. I've been seeing pictures of him in training camp, and he looks like he's really working hard for this fight because he looks like he's lost weight. Normally, when you see Luis Ortiz, he's kind of, he's not fat by any means, but you could see some body fat on, in his stomach area. He looks like a guy who's in his late 30s. He has the physique of a guy who's in his late 30s, possibly early 40s, because people keep saying he's really in his 40s. But he has that type of physique of a guy that isn't a younger guy, if you get what I'm saying. But I've been seeing pictures of him, and he looks a lot slimmer, a lot trimmer, and you could see his muscle definition a lot better. So that tells me that he's clearly been working really hard for this fight, because he's been losing weight for this fight. He's been getting as in the best condition of his career, quite possibly. And he should, because this is the biggest fight of his career, because not in terms of opponent, because I don't think Deontay Wilder is the most skillful guy, but in terms of what happens if he beats Wilder, because if he wins Wilder, if he wins this fight, he'll be a champion. He'll be a champion, and he'll be a Cuban champion, because has Cuba ever had a heavyweight champion? I don't even know. I'm going to be honest. I don't do research on I haven't done research on Cuban heavyweight champions, so I couldn't even tell you. But let me know in the comment section if has Cuba ever had a heavyweight champion? I don't even know. I don't think so. Because I can't recall a Cuban heavyweight champion, but there probably has been, but it happened maybe back in the 50s that obviously I wasn't born, so I wouldn't know, but yeah, let me know in the comment section. But this is a big deal for Luis Ortiz, because if Cuba has never had a heavyweight champion, then Luis Ortiz will be making history, because he would be the first Cuban heavyweight to win a belt at heavyweight. So that would be, that would be a big deal for Cuba and for him. Because he'll be making history right there, right? When it comes to me, as I told you guys, I think this fight I think it could go two ways. I don't think Wilder's going to just go in here and blast this guy out. Because, like I said, like I've been saying, Wilder never lets his hands go enough when he's in there with someone who's sticking a jab in his face. When he has a guy throwing a jab down his throat, he doesn't let his hands go enough. He doesn't, because he's too intimidated to make a mistake, because he knows if he makes a mistake, he's going to get countered. So what does he do? He just has a high guard up, and he doesn't let his hands go, and he kind of tries to pot shot his right hand. That's all he's really trying to do, is he's trying to throw a big right hand. So I think that's what you're going to see Wilder do, and I think that's why you're going to see him give away rounds. When it comes to Luis Ortiz, because he's a veteran, he knows that Deontay Wilder is trying to land that big right hand, so you're not going to see him taking risks, people. I know people expect Luis Ortiz to go in here and go guns blazing like a 1985 Mike Tyson would do. Like when Mike Tyson fought Michael Johnson and he came forward and he was throwing bombs, just trying to knock him out. That's not, you guys are crazy if you guys think that Luis Ortiz is just going to come forward and try and knock Deontay Wilder out. He's not going to do that. He's a veteran. He knows that if he does that, he's going to leave himself open to that right hand, and he's going to walk right into a right hand and get knocked out. So he's going to go in there cautious, throwing a jab, being very technical. He's going to try to stay technical, and he's going to do this throughout the whole fight. That's why I keep saying it might be a stinker, because he's not going to be taking risks. And because Wilder doesn't let his hands go when he's in there with someone who's, throwing a jab down his throat, it might be a stinker. It might be a dull fight. But you know what? Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully, Luis Ortiz does a 360 and he just goes in here guns blazing, throwing left hooks, trying to go for broke. Because if he does that, this would be a very exciting fight. This would be a very exciting fight. Or hopefully Wilder does a 360, and instead of coming in here with his high guard up, just trying to land that right hand, he actually, brings the fight to Luis Ortiz. Go on the inside. I want Wilder to go on the inside against Luis Ortiz, because if he goes on the inside against, Wilder's bigger than Luis Ortiz. He's 6'7". Luis Ortiz is 6'4", but he's really 6'2", because there's no way in hell he's 6'4". Because if he was 6'4", he wouldn't be 4 inches shorter than Deontay Wilder. He's really 6'2", 6'3", in my opinion. Just my opinion. I want to see Deontay Wilder use his, height and size advantage over Luis Ortiz. I know he weighs less than Luis Ortiz most likely, but let him throw his physical size on him. Lean on Luis Ortiz. Fight him on the inside. I saw Deontay Wilder fight Johan Duhaupas on the inside in some rounds, and I thought Deontay Wilder was doing pretty good. He's not no elite inside fighter, but when he actually does attempt to go on the inside, he's actually quite effective. He was throwing uppercuts. If you look at the Johan Duhaupas fight, he was throwing uppercuts against Johan Duhaupas. He was leading on Johan Duhaupas. I thought he looked pretty decent in there. I want to see him do that against Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz is 39, Wilder. Lean on him. Tire him out. He's past it. It's going to give Luis Ortiz the opportunity to land his own uppercuts on Wilder. But guess what? It would also give Wilder the opportunity to land his own uppercuts on Luis Ortiz. That's the side I want to see of Wilder. Wilder really doesn't fight on the inside as often, but when he does, he actually has some success. Normally, Wilder just waits for that right hand, or he attempts to box. He attempts to be mobile, right? But I want to see that version of Deontay Wilder. I want to see an inside fighter. Because Wilder's not a complete fighter, but he has some aspects. And that's all I have to say, guys. Thanks for watching.